Well, welcome to Extra Point on Southwestern Montana News, brought to you by 82 Coffee Company, Susan McCrae Accounting, and Dream Motors. And today, Montana Western Athletic Director Michael Feuling. And Michael, you began your career as a Western AD in the rain. We're going to talk about that later, because first, I want to get the skinny. You know, I ask all the coaches that come in here, first-time visitors, I need your scouting report.
Yeah.
So I'm not playing favorites. I need your scouting report,
Well,
where you were born.
Yeah. Well, the athletic scouting report on me, I stopped growing in high school, but no, I was born actually in Havre, Montana. We moved as a family to Seattle when I was around about 4. Grew up there. Ended up going to college at Western Oregon University in a similar small town in Monmouth, Oregon. Was very fortunate to have a fantastic education there. Got a chance when I was a senior to work as part of our athletic auction. It was kind of a make or break year, and that's kind of where I got my feet wet with the fundraising and the athletic fundraising. And both my parents went to University of Montana, and through them had known Jim O'Day and Kent Haslam. And I can remember one time they had an alumni function up in Washington at the Husky basketball game, and we went up there. And I remember getting in the car, and I just said, how do I get to do what Jim and Kent get to do, and just being around athletics. And so that kind of really jump-started my career. But met my beautiful, fantastic, much smarter, more talented wife there, Jamie. She's the first lady of Montana Western Athletics, and I think people like her more than they like me at times. She's just so welcoming, and we have twin 10 going on 18, 19-year-old boys that are really starting to find the things that make them grow and what they enjoy. It's just such a blast to watch them grow and find the things that they do. In fact, I take them to school each morning, and that brief 5-minute car ride, you get to learn a lot more about them. Today they were talking about school and talking about dividing and talking about quotients and where you put this there, and I just started getting the hot sweats. I'm going, you guys, this is insane. I go, your dad was never good at math. And then I told him, I said, I would say that you guys at your point of life are a heck of a lot smarter than your dad was. And so it's just awesome watching them grow up. They're part of youth sports. I get to coach them in basketball. I'll get to coach them in baseball this year, which will be a little bit of a different thing. I know baseball, it's a little bit different, but it's just so awesome having them be a part of Montana Western Athletics and being able to go and do things. In fact, just last night at dinner, there's questions with Quincy for our social media, and Braxton, my one son, goes, yeah, I think one day I want to ask Quincy if I can go around and ask the questions with him. So being able to have them grow up with such tremendous student athletes and coaches and staff I couldn't ask for anything better. And especially in a town like this where everyone truly cares about people, it's just, I can't go wrong. Jim Harbaugh says, who has it better than us? And he says no one. And that's pretty much how I've been feeling and how I feel, especially in this role and in this position.
Well, I know for a fact, I'm not sure which of your sons, maybe both of them did it, but it was a block break or something, and it was a home volleyball match, and you were stretched for support people, and they became the ball rollers.
Yep.
And my color commentator and I both said, you want us to let you know how you did? You want me to tell your dad? And they kind of looked at me and they go, yeah. Oh, and I did. And I think you were right there. And I said, Michael, your boys did great.
That's the thing, when they set out to do something, that's the one thing I think my wife and I have passed on to them is when you do something, you do it all out. You want to be the best at what you do. And the only hard part I had about that was then they wanted to start getting paid, and it was like, okay, let's easy now. Like, go to the concession stand and we'll get paid that way.
Well, I know Mom brings them snacks too.
Oh, they don't go hungry.
Yeah.
Well, let's just put it that way.
Okay. Well, great family. And Jamie, I understand your thoughts on Jamie. She's a keeper.
She is.
She's a keeper. I don't know your boys as well, other than giving them a grade after they got done.
Yep.
But getting to know them, I think, is going to be fun.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. Okay, let's get back to your athletic director debut. This line could almost be a country song.
Yep.
Made Bulldog AD debut in the Kentucky rain. I don't think we have to worry about Elvis,
No.
or Eddie Rabbitt, saying that we quelched on his song. But that's an interesting way, because I remember you talking about that, and the thing that I remember you saying the most that sticks out is you couldn't believe that there were more Western fans
Yep.
at a Lindsey Wilson home game than there were Lindsey Wilson fans.
Yeah. Well, so I think I started November 15th or 16th. Dr. Handlos set it all up perfectly. We had to get the team to Lindsey Wilson on a charter plane, and we were set to take off that Friday. I get a call at 6 a.m. from the charter company, and they basically said, yeah, we're not going to be able to get you guys out. And so getting the team just to Kentucky was an issue in and of itself. We were originally supposed to play Saturday, and it was the perfect cold fall Kentucky, afternoon, night, and you start looking at the forecast, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, we got there for warm-ups. It was perfect. It was sunny, and then all of a sudden you just see these clouds coming in, and it was different. And mind you, I'm from Oregon and Seattle, where it's constantly raining. You never have to worry about not finding a shower because it's either drizzling, it's pouring, it's whatever. But that was kind of where I got my first taste of the Bulldog family, the Bulldog Nation. I'm standing out there with Keith Handlos, who's wearing shorts, as he always does, and it's rain that I've never really experienced before. And I turn around, and there are ponchos, there are hunting camo gear, and we filled the entire section. And then you look across the field, and there's hardly anyone in their seats, and they're all undercover, just jammed together. It was just truly amazing. I know that their football field, I believe it was Tanner Harrell's hand, he went down in his defensive stance, and his hand was almost knuckle deep in water. It just rained that hard and that much, but that was my true taste of the support for the Bulldog family. And I remember texting my wife going, this is going to be something special. And Keith Handlos still gives me a hard time because we had a booth up there for our visiting radio, and we didn't travel with a visiting radio. And I watched the second half up there, and Keith Handlos, God bless him, stood out there the entire day, pouring down rain. So he still likes to give me a hard time at that, but I had to move. It was the joints, the aches, and the cold. I had to get up there, and I'd like to tell him I had to get my view so that I could give a full evaluation.
Yes.
But he doesn't take it that way.
Yeah. Welcome to the frontier.
Yeah.
And welcome to Montana Western. Huh?
Exactly.
Okay, so let's fast forward 2.5 years.
Yep.
Fall of 2023 was kind of special in Bulldog Nation.
Yeah. No, it was, and we kind of had a feeling heading into the year that it was going to be special. It was kind of the first full year for me to kind of build off of the previous year, see what worked, what didn't work. We knew we were going to have some really talented student athletes coming back, and not just talented on the court or in competition, but just talented kids all around, ones that were going to work hard and dedicate themselves to being good student athletes. And volleyball got us started. Volleyball, I think 15-0, 13-0, or 14-1 at some point. And they kind of just started checking off boxes. They had the thing about them was, well, they always start off good in preseason, but then they'll lose one or two in the conference preseason tournament, and then they can't respond. Well, they just started knocking down these hurdles. And one game in Arizona that they played beat some quality teams over there. And so you start to kind of recognize that, all right, this team is going to be something special. And then you have football that, and I'm pretty sure Coach Norse and his staff would kind of tell you it's maybe a rebuild year. But then you see them and they go down to Eastern Oregon and take care of Eastern Oregon pretty handedly, and then lose a heartbreaker at C of I that kind of really set their path forward for them. And then you start seeing the success that they have there. Then, of course, JT and Rodeo start having their success. And with Coach Grove coming on, you start seeing the Heiner siblings starting to have their success. And so, Lindsey Branch, my assistant athletic director, we kind of start going, all right, this has the potential to be kind of a really cool, fun year. And it really catapulted on November 11th when there was a lot going on that day. And it was one of those days where I woke up and I made sure to just have my phone charged at all times, because there was going to be some scoreboard watching. There was going to be some watching. And we knew going into the day the goal was that we wanted football to win, and we needed volleyball to win to get a tournament berth. Now there were some things that kind of started happening. So if we won for football, we knew there was a good chance we were going to host probably a first round, possibly a second round game, depending on some things that happened. And that one thing was Southern Oregon College of Idaho. And we started an hour early than they did. So now you start watching. And being a game manager at a home football game, you got the earpiece in and you're dealing with all those things and trying to scoreboard watch. And then your volleyball team starts taking off, and they started off well, and then things kind of dwindled down there. And so you're like, all right, we'll just, we'll focus on football. And then all of a sudden you check the volleyball score, and all of a sudden they're 1 point away from going to a fifth set. And I can remember radioing to Lindsey Branch. I said, if they take it to 5 sets, I said, we're winning it. And sure enough, they go to 5 sets. So I remember it vividly. I'm sitting on the bleachers, and I'm a very superstitious person. So I sat in the same spot, refreshed at the same time. I had Lindsey's husband giving me score updates of the Southern Oregon College of Idaho game. We knew that one was kind of going final. And then all of a sudden, women's volleyball starts taking the lead, and Lindsey goes, well, I'm going to watch it. I got to record stuff. And I said, no, you're not doing it. You're not doing it. And she goes, I have to. It's my job. And I said, all right, if they lose 2 points, turn it off. Well, sure enough, they lost 2 points. But then we watched the rest of it. But I can remember just the joy that I felt, not necessarily for me, but for the likes of Katie Lovett, who has just done a phenomenal job of building our volleyball program. Ryan Norse and his coaching staff that have done a tremendous job taking kids that buy into a system. And just, we talk about the championship experience all the time up there. They get to go now play for championships and have that championship experience. And so I was on cloud nine that night, and came over to your place and the tailgate, and we celebrated, and just one of those moments that I won't ever forget.
15 minutes is the narrow window where we won, and I say we because I'm a Montana Western alum.
Yep.
We won 2 championships in a 15-minute time span, and that's pretty special. Pretty special.
It is. Most teams or most schools are just hoping to get one in 3, 4, 5 years, and the crazy part was people came up to me and said, hey, great job, congratulations, great job. I'm going, I didn't do anything. I'm here. I go, the last thing my coaches want me doing is to help them coach, although I've tried a few different times and they, kind of just look at me politely. I try to get my coaching thing in there once in a while, but it really is a testament to our coaching staff and the kids that they bring in and recruit. So that's the type of students that we have at Western Montana, that just want to commit and buy into things. And, and then you look at the Heiner siblings. A freshman, Olivia Heiner, goes and competes at the NCAA National Cross Country Meet, and same with Brant. That's awesome that two siblings, brother and sister, get to go compete together.
Were they Taylor's first signees, or had they been here?
They were committed, but Taylor's jumped in and done a tremendous job. So, yeah, fall of 2023 was phenomenal for the Bulldogs and Montana Western, and we're just hoping to continue to ride that and continue to use that as a springboard for future growth.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk building boom. And we're going to focus on the athletic department because a lot is happening as far as the building boom goes. And we'll do it after this on Southwestern Montana News, Extra Point.
Dream Motors is here to help you with those winter blues. That's right, we have TRT, that is Truck Replacement Therapy. Don't end up like this loser in a snowbank. Come on in today and check out the many trucks we have on the lot, ready to get you through the winter with a little TRT.
Well, back with Michael Feuling on Extra Point. Michael, lots of building boom going on campus. We talked off camera a little bit. Western's campus over the years, and it's 125, 126 years. It's been slowly building outward, but it's happening in little segments here and there. And I guess it's the athletic department's turn to get a little bit of that building boom. Let's first talk about. Now, this is new for me because I always called it the PE complex.
Yeah.
With the Stroud Gymnasium on one end and the Kelts Arena on the other end. And then Mark Durham, when he was there, he rechristened it the Bulldog Athletic Recreation Complex for an acronym, which is pretty good for our school mascot.
It is.
The Bark. But that building debuted in 1969, starting to show its ages. We've got a new floor on and stuff like that, but there's a lot of other things going on as far as renovations going in that building.
Yeah, one of the the first things that when I got there, on my tour, and from my tour and in talking with our coaches and some of the student athletes was they just didn't feel like they were part of or had a place that looked like an intercollegiate athletic department. A lot of it was some of the coaches saying we bring the kids in the front lobby and it's just plain floor, white walls, and it can kind of get old. And, so you kind of look at that and when you step into the front lobby and you want a place that, not just the student athletes, but we do a lot of classes there. We have a booming HHP degree and some terrific professors there that are doing a tremendous job. You just want ownership. You want people that they feel proud when they come in and they feel like they're at a fantastic place. And so we put wraps up about a year and a half ago, put the old fight song up there, just kind of bring them back. I'm a big fan of history and the alumni and the teams and the athletic directors and the staff and the coaches that have helped build Montana Western to the place that it is today. We're not here if it's not for them. And so just kind of paying homage to, all that there. We added a big carpet in the lobby as well because you track in snow and ice and dirt and all this other things, but we're continuing to look. That's the thing that with my staff, they will let me know. They go, hey, it's, we're hearing this, we're hearing that about a different school, and my thing is well, let's look into it. And we have some plans, for the future. I'd love to get a new gym floor that has some more tack to it. We'd like to continue to build some certain things just to continue to keep up with the growth that's happening at our place and throughout the campus.
Okay, well, and then you walked in. A couple of things you didn't have to worry about were women's locker rooms.
Yep.
That got taken care of
Yep.
because I don't know if you've heard the story or not, but there was a time that there was a closet, and that it was about as big as a closet, a big closet that was divided in half, and volleyball was on women's volleyball on one side, women's basketball on the other side. And I guess when you win a national championship, things change, and so the women's basketball got a locker room, and then volleyball got a locker room.
Yep.
And so it's I can kind of go back to my college days there and look at how it was and how it is now, and,
Yep.
and it's special. It's really special.
It is, and it's donors and alumni and fans like yourself and several others that have contributed to those projects that have made it possible. Again, we talk about the championship experience all the time, and that's kind of the forefront of what drives our decision making there is, it shouldn't be after a great game or celebrating Coach Cooper's first victory in a closet or celebrating Coach Jensen's first victory in a closet. They have a place that they can go and show recruits and show people that, we care about you, and when you come here, we want you to help us build things for the future. And so I really enjoy walking into those places and seeing the names of the donors and the fans and the alumni that have helped kind of carry that tradition forward. I think that's a big thing for our student athletes to really understand and appreciate.
Well, and something else that's going to change football-wise.
Yep.
After 74 years, if you want to be exact, last year, but I like to round things off. So I'm
Yep.
just going to say 75 years of playing football at Vigilante Field. You're going to be playing football a few steps away from the main building, from the Bark.
Yep. No, it's truly amazing what's going to be happening with that sports and activities complex. Again, you talk about the Bulldog family and bringing everyone coming together to help this dream become a reality. And I think people were kind of just waiting for that ground to be broken in order to kind of start believing it. And, it was awesome. The weight room kind of overlooks, you can kind of see a lot of the work. And so I make it a point before each of my workouts just to go check it. So I can kind of have my own mental time lapse of where things are going. And Tanner Loggy and the R.E. Miller crew are doing a phenomenal job of keeping us going. The progress is being made. I believe we've poured the foundation. We've gotten tremendous help from the weather, knock on wood, wherever we're at, that we get to kind of keep going that. But the goal is that first home football game is going to be kicking off there, and we can't wait to celebrate it with everyone. We truly have a beautiful campus. There's times where I walk across campus and you look out and you see the sun coming over the mountains, and you just picture that stadium with the tailgate, the fans, the alumni, the friends coming back, and just what that's going to be like. And it gives me goosebumps just talking about it. Because again, you go back to a lot of groundwork that was laid from on the field, the competition, the coaching staff, but then again, it's the community coming together and to support, and we can't wait to have it be a staple of our campus to help with recruiting, admissions, not just student athletes, but students in general. And we're still trying to raise more money. We want it to be the best that it can be. It'll be one or two phases that we roll out. But we're just tremendously excited about it and going to be a fantastic opportunity for future and current student athletes.
Well, it also presents options for community use too.
Absolutely.
Whether it's hosting a high school playoff game or, putting on a concert or something like that, the options are limitless.
Exactly. And when we talked about the Dillon JC youth flag football, My kids have participated in that the last 2 years, and the first question I got was, Dad, do you think we can play over there? Dad, do you think? And that actually gave me the idea. It was like, on away games when we're not playing, let's get some of those kids up there so that they can start envisioning playing for Montana Western. You know, starting them young and keeping them, afloat and keeping them as part of the Bulldog, family and the nation. That's what it's all about. We've had some very talented local homegrown kids. We got a couple of them just now that are really going to make an impact, and that's what we want. And that's what this stadium is going to do for us. I believe, and I could be, wrong, but I believe graduation will eventually make its way out there, just on how we continue to grow and just the logistics of everything. But that's just going to be awesome, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Well, that's part two of the building boom, because one of the most favorite landmarks on the Montana Western campus is the famous tundra.
Yes.
The tundra's gotten smaller over the years, and it's about to get even smaller.
Even smaller, yeah, and it has provided some wonderful working sounds. Thank goodness I've with my boys, because I can tune just about anything out now. But a lot of construction going on in the tundra. Going to be a student wellness center that the students voted on, that an increase of fees. Right now we have our weight room up in the third floor of the Bark building that student pay for part of their fees, and we've had to do some juggling acts with Montana Youth Challenge, our teams, general students using that. And the students deserve a place that they can go, and lift and be comfortable lifting, and not having to work around student athletes. And our student athletes should have an opportunity to lift without having others, in the space. And especially in this health crazed world that we live in now, and it affects so many different things, your mental health, how you feel. So this wellness center is going to be, I think the last I checked is about in a year and a half, and it'll be basically a place that students can go and work out. Not sure of the hours, but they'll have a few wellness rooms as well, and some opportunities to do some different wellness activities, exercising classes, spin, yoga, Pilates. And so again, you just talk about that momentum moving forward, not just in terms of athletics, but the overall university. And you look at the successful universities, and they have places that you can go to work out. They have a vibrant and robust campus life, and we're building that with the stadium, and it's just a phenomenal time in to be a Bulldog. But yeah, no, it provides some great sounds, some great drilling, some great different things going on. But again, you just kind of take those mental snapshots so that in 2 years, if we're having the same conversation, we're talking about how great these places are.
Well, I would like to bring some of like Bernie Bissell. He was here in 1954. That's when he first came here, and the campus was still fairly small. And I'd like to ask Bernie what he thinks about it when the stadium's done and when the student wellness center is done. Look how far we've come, Bernie.
Yep.
Look how far we've come.
And I think that's the best part. I think oftentimes people look for different measuring sticks to see how you do and to see how things grow. But, if we were struggling, there wouldn't be these buildings, and there wouldn't be the success that we're having. And that's that measurement. You look at what you have, again, as we look at, as great as November 11th was, I was up the next morning, and all I could think about was, how do we continue this ascension? How do we not just maintain the success, but how do we continue to grow? And it takes a village. It takes an entire campus, an entire community, and just some meetings just this week. All that's being talked about is, all right, let's continue to think outside the box. Let's continue to push ourselves to be better. And having that, and especially in my position and in my role with staff and student athletes that are buy in and embrace that, that's all you can ask for. That is literally all you can ask for. And again, we got the winter season, and we got track and field in the spring to compete, but you just think about the things that you get to start planning for. Lindsay Branch does a phenomenal job for us. She's going to have to figure out how to do videos on a video board at a football game. We're going to have to look at, the game day logistics of a football game being on campus. And while some may shy away from change and having to think of different things, and well, that's just the way that it was, let's embrace it. Keep embracing that change, keep embracing that growth, and just continue to keep building it so that 10, 15 years from now, it's still the Bulldog family, it's still the Bulldog tradition, and just a phenomenal opportunity.
Okay. Well, Michael, thank you for coming in and visiting with us on Extra Point. Michael Feuling, Montana Western Athletic Director. We'll bring you back.
Yeah.
We won't wait 15 years to do it.
No, hope not.
We'll bring you back, and maybe we can have part 2 of what's happening. So, but thanks for stopping and visiting.
You, Wally.
Thanks for
Appreciate
updating
it.
us.
Yep.
And thank you for joining Extra Point on Southwestern Montana News, brought to you today by 82 Coffee Company, Susan McRae Accounting, and Dream Motors.